Hello everybody, my name is Joy and welcome back to the D-Dynasty. Now let's get to murdering after that long introduction last episode. So, I'm thinking I'm gonna use that love poem. The peaceful nativity scene feels unsettling to look at under the present circumstances. Yeah, I can imagine why. So I think I'm gonna do this with a good old sword. So I'm gonna have to retrieve that later. Because I cannot conceal it on my person, I actually have to... No, let's not do that. Let's pick something more subtle. Small dagger. Excuse me. Small enough. Take the dagger. And I'm gonna take the love poem, but I'm just not entirely sure where I'm going to put that. But I think I'm gonna put it in his room, because then I could maybe frame him. Yeah, am I gonna frame Johnny Boy? Is that what I'm gonna do? Oh well. See, I forgot where I found the love poem, so I'm gonna have to search for that. But oh, I remember. It was in the mate's chamber. Come here. Red ribbon, give me that. There we are. It sounds like we're being summoned to dinner. I had better not be late. Nope, because that would be suspicious. Great atmospheric music? Question mark? May I see your new horse after we finished at the table, Brother Simon? Of course, child, as long as you clear your plate. How old is he? Is he a war horse? Has he been in many battles? Quiet down, Eliza. Don't pester him with your childish questions. But silence! I've had quite enough of this silly preoccupation with horses and battles and such things. I can choose to interrupt or say nothing. Nah, I feel like stirring some stuff. What's wrong with horses and battles? Quite right, such things are not for girls. No need to speak so sternly. When I was a lad, I'd be beaten for talking back. Oh, I can even go back, oh my. What's wrong with horses and battles? Well, I for one think that horses and battles are a worthy topic of discussion. See? Perhaps, but not for a young lady. As her tutor, it is my duty to care for this girl and raise her properly. I would appreciate it if you allowed me to fulfill that task. So, Robert, are you going to tell us why you've really asked us here this evening? Patience is a virtue, Brother Simon. However, since we're all here, we might as well get to it. As some of you are aware, I am a close friend of the Archbishop of Canterbury, Thomas Arundel. I met him a while back while he was serving as Archbishop of York, and we found that we shared a great deal in common with one another. Once I have returned from the Isle of Wight and seen out the final days of my governorship, I will be serving as his right hand in a new mission. What mission exactly? I will be serving in the office of Heretique Pravitatis Inquisitor, Inquisitor of Heretical Improprieties. I've never heard of such an office. That is because the office has not been required before. However, things are about to change in our country. Parliament will soon pass a law allowing the Church to order the arrest of any persons suspected of heresy. If they fail to renounce their heretical beliefs, they will be burnt at the stake as an example for the others. King Richard never allowed that. His Majesty is not rigid. He sees the threat to our fate much more clearly. Not to mention his gratitude. Without the support of the Church, Henry would not have been king. We cannot let these heretics destroy our church. Burn them all, that's what I say. Let's interrupt again. That sounds a little bloodthirsty. Nice to hear a man speaking sense. And what if it was one of your family, Sir John? What an evil, contemptible thing to say. That sounds a little bloodthirsty. You sound almost gleeful about it, Sir John. Gleeful? Perhaps. Shouldn't one feel joy while defending the faith that one loves so dearly? Well said. And on the subject of defending our faith, I intend to form a private council of my own to help root out this heresy. That is why I have asked all of you here today. Of course, in my opinion, the heretics are only the beginning of the problem. Tell me, William, what is your opinion on the existence of witchcraft? I do not believe in such things. I believe in the power of witchcraft. I will defer to Brother Simon. I'd like to hear what the Reverend Mother thinks. I would love to hear what the Reverend Mother thinks. Reverend Mother, what is your opinion? Opinion? I have no such thing. I'm a woman. The word of God is clear on the matter. You shall not permit a sorceress to live. Where does it say that? I mean, if it's in there, I have no idea, but I would love to see that. As usual, the Reverend Mother cuts to the heart of it. I have been studying the works of Thomas Aquinas of late. He argues that witches can, in fact, perform miracles. If we take a miracle to mean that which is beyond human understanding, but not beyond the power of God. What does this all have to do with heresy? Does it not seem to you that witchcraft is the ultimate form of heresy? Surely those who indulge in these dark arts should not go unpunished. Of course they should be punished. I feel unqualified to speak on the matter. I'm thinking. I don't want to stir up too much shit because I'm gonna make myself look suspicious. How would you punish them, Sir John? Would you burn them at the stake as well? No, witchcraft is an even more severe crime than common heresy, therefore the punishment should also be more severe. I liked you, Johnny boy. Why? Why did you have to be a dick? Perhaps to be hung, drawn or quartered like a certain Scottish warrior? I'd rather be hung than burned, I think. Well, it depends on it. If I just snap my neck immediately, then I prefer the hanging. Maybe I'd still prefer it if I just choke. There is no need to bring that up, Sir John. Not that I disagree with the suggestion. However, this may be a conversation for another time. Our first concern is dealing with these damned heretics. I have chosen each of you for a good reason. Even you, Brother Simon. You have never been afraid to speak your mind. A valuable trait. I'm glad you think so. And you, William Bruce, can keep me updated on the activities of heretics north of the border. As long as the heretics are treated justly, what is in it for me? I'm not sure about serving an Englishman. As long as the heretics are treated justly. I would be glad to assist you on the condition that the heretics are treated with justice. This must not become a mindless slaughter. But of course, isn't that what we all want? Despite any differences we might have, we are good Christians, I believe. That is the most important thing of all. Hear, hear. Anyway, I think we are finished here for tonight. I must go and take in some fresh air. Would you be good enough to prepare communion for me a little later, Brother Simon? Certainly, Governor. Myself and the Reverend Mother will see to it. Fresh air on the roof, maybe, perhaps? Now that dinner is over, the time has come to plant any evidence you may have collected. Then you must finally seek out this low scoundrel and put an end to his life. Okay. So is he outside or is he on the roof? That kind of depends on it. So I have the option to frame Sir Jolly Boy here. So I think I'm gonna go ahead and do that. I hope he's not in the... He's in his room. But maybe he's not looking. Yes, let's do that. Opening the wardrobe, you place the letter among Sir John's few possessions inside. It should be easily discovered here. A rather quaint little dinner, wasn't it? Yes, it sure was. And I'm gonna stab him with his knife. So... that would make him suspicious? Maybe? Oh, Governor Wolseley stands perilously close to the edge of the balcony. After 20 years of waiting, the moment has finally arrived. Now is not the time to make any mistakes. Dagger. I'm gonna try to frame John first. Approaching from behind, you quickly clasp one hand around Wolsey's mouth while pressing the blade of the dagger upon his neck. This is for my mother, you whisper, as you slit the man's throat. A smothered, gargling gasp emerges as his lifeblood drains down from his neck. You drop the dagger on the ground beside his lifeless body. Someone below may have heard something suspicious, so you should leave this place quickly. Yes, I hope I'm not drenched in blood. I hope I was a bit more careful. I should go to where people are. Hurry up. Wait, I should go here. With him, I'm standing right in front of you. If you require accommodation for a night, there's a good inn just half a mile down the road. My word, did you hear that? I did. I'll go see what it was. I'm right behind you. Oh my, what could it have been? God, Robert. How could this have happened? Who could have done this? That is not for us to determine. Nicholas, who is the sheriff of this shire? Nicholas? My apologies, Brother Simon, I'm just a little shaken. Thomas de Bromfleet is the High Sheriff. He is present at your castle about an hour's ride from here. Then I shall ride there immediately and return with him tonight. Will you see to things here at the estate, Sir John? Bring the girl to the Reverend Mother. She will need consolation. Yes, of course, I will see to it. Okay. Welcome, my lord. I wish I could say that I was pleased to meet you. Nicholas, Sir John, and who might you be? This is William Bruce, a friend of the governor. William Bruce? I can't say I've ever heard of you. What do you mean by that? I am nobody of consequences. I haven't heard of you either. Perhaps you should have heard of me. I'm nobody of consequence. That's no surprise. I'm no great lord like yourself, Thomas de Bromfleet. Perhaps not. You do possess quite a cultured manner of speaking, though. Interesting. Where is Brother Simon? He's outside, seeing to the horses. Who else is in the house at the moment? Eliza is here, though it would be better if she wasn't. The Reverend Mother Mary Burns is tending to her. Oh, and Alice, the servant girl. And all were present at the time of the murder? Yes, we've been here all evening. I see. Everyone should be in one room. Is there somewhere smaller on the upper floor, perhaps? There's the governor's cabinet, I suppose. Gather everyone together there. Meanwhile, my men will conduct a search of the house. They will also have to search each of your possessions. Is that really necessary? Oh yes, Sir John, but have no fear. We will soon get to the bottom of this heinous crime. I left the blade with him, didn't I? I forgot. I forgot if I did that. How's the girl? She's resting now, though I doubt she will find peaceful sleep for some time. Poor child. Let her rest for now. I may have questions for her later. First of all, I would like to run through the events of the day with each of you. From what I have gathered, each of you had the opportunity to slip away at the top of the tower at some time shortly after dinner. William Bruce, as far as I can tell, you're the outsider here. You'll forgive me if my questions are directed at you for the moment? You will forgive me if I choose not to answer? I suppose that makes sense. I suppose that makes sense. Sure, I take no offense. I would likely do the same thing in your position. Very good then. The truth is, I still have no idea who you are. Tell me something about your past. I was raised by monks after mother died. I come from a noble and honorable line. Well, he asked about my past. Like my past specifically, I guess. This would be more generic. There's not much to tell. My mother died when I was a child, and I was raised in a priory. You're an orphan then, no status to speak of. How did you come to know the governor? I wrote him a letter regarding heresy. He was once married to my mother. No, I'm not going to reveal that. He might not even remember that. I wrote him a letter regarding heresy. I wrote him a letter regarding the spread of heresy in Scotland. He was intrigued enough to invite me to his estate. You first reached out to him then? Yes, I knew he would be interested in the matter. I see. Tell me, what time of day did you arrive here? I can answer that. I saw William arrive in the courtyard while I was tending to my horse just before dusk. Did he say anything to you? Yes, he came over and I introduced myself to him. Then we shared our thoughts on the current heresy in this church, and I mentioned that I did not entirely agree with the governor's approach. He said it was not wise to speak about it. It took issue with clerics and secular officers. You said it was not wise to speak about it. Yes, and it isn't, especially with a stranger. These are troubled, suspicious times that we live in. Indeed they are, Brother Simon. Go on. I seem to remember that we spoke about the Reverend Mother at a priory. She has a stern hand? I don't remember exactly what he said. I mean, it was yesterday. Oh god. Am I gonna have a super long conversation now because I spoke to everyone? You told a story about a young nun. You said she had a rather stern hand. I'm just gonna say yes, that's right. We spoke about her. We also spoke about Eliza and her usual interests. You said she likes to duel with swords. Yes, wooden ones, of course. A little unusual, certainly, but it sounds harmless enough to me. Otherwise, we said nothing of consequence. I was also there when William arrived. I greeted him on his entrance to the house and I told him where to find the other guests. Did you speak to him again after that? Yes, we spoke a little about Brother Simon. You said he always carries a mace with him. That is true, especially when I travel with Mother Burns. I like to have some protection. I see, that's unusual. I'd say it's kind of logical, However, the murder weapon was not a mace, so I don't think it's necessarily relevant. Oh yes, we spoke a little about Alice too. Punished her now then. You said the governor loved her dearly. I forgot what he said about that. I believe they said both. I can choose between the two, so... Yes, that's right. I don't think we spoke about anything else of importance. I spoke to William when he came to the kitchen. And what was the subject of your discussion? I had been reading a book that contained some tales about the peculiar habits and customs of the Scottish people. I asked him whether those tales were true. He said that he had never known a servant girl to be able to read so well before. We spoke about the governor's kindness in deciding to take me in and educate me. We also talked about Brother Simon for a while and his relationship with the governor. You said they had many disagreements. You said they sometimes... Okay. Raised voices. I recall you saying that you sometimes heard raised voices when they were together. Oh, your discussions often became heated then. Yes, the governor was a passionate man and I tried to match his passion. Interesting. Go on, Alice. We also spoke for a while about Nicholas and how he was training me. You said you sometimes make silly mistakes. Yes, that's right. Finally, we spoke about the governor's daughter. He asked about her temperament and I told him I'd never known her to get angry. See, thank you, Alice. I can't think of anything else we talked about. Sorry. I seem to be coming down with a little bit of a cold, maybe even. What about you, Sir John? Ah, yes, I ran into William in the long gallery. We exchanged a few words. He told me about the noble history of his family name and shared his ambitions to see that name restored to its former glory. It sounds like you would go to great lengths to achieve your ambitions, William Bruce. I don't remember saying anything about ambitions. That's true. However, I did say something about that a man can achieve anything if he needs to. Well, of course I would. Naturally, family comes first. I see. You may proceed, Sir John. We then spoke about the governor for a while, if I remember rightly. You said that you argued with him more lately. I'm not sure I said that exactly. You had better be honest with me, Sir John. Well, I suppose we did have our arguments from time to time, like any close friends might. I see. I remember speaking about Brother Simon as well. You said that he wouldn't have hired him as a tutor. You said he has some dangerous ideas. I seem to remember you saying that he had some dangerous ideas. You said he might even be a heretic. No, that can't be true. Did you really say that, Sir John? Well, I might have had idle suspicions about him. I see. Go on. We also spoke about the Reverend Mother. You called her a sour-faced old crone. You worried about her and the governor. You wondered about her and the governor. I can make him look like a douchebag, but I can also do this. Well, it is a little unusual, I suppose. When a man and a woman are as close as that, one can't help but wonder sometimes. What? Oh god, I'm sorry. I'm sorry if the editing looks a bit weird. It's for your own good, okay? I'm editing out some gross shit you don't want to see. What? What are you trying to say? Oh, nothing, really. I think I understand your concern, Sir John. Please go on. We talked about Nicholas too, if I remember correctly. You said he used to be violently jealous. Yes, that's true, but he was rightfully jealous. I remember you saying that you have known Nicholas to be violently jealous of women in the past. Is that true, Nicholas? Well, I do expect my women to be faithful, it's true. So, if someone was carrying on with a woman for whom you had strong feelings, this might cause you to become angry. Well, I suppose so, but... Thank you, Nicholas. You may proceed, Sir John. I think that's all we spoke about, other than small talk. I too spoke with him before dinner. He came to the chapel, as I recall. And what did you discuss with him? He said that he had travelled here from Bewley Priory. I was familiar with it, having many friends in the Scottish Church. Prior Thomas, who presides over that place, has a reputation for being something of an agitator and a malcontent, sympathetic to the heretics. This man claims that Prior Thomas is like a father to him. Yes, I did say that. Yes, the man practically raised me. Well, this is something that concerns me a great deal, given the governor's past actions against the heretics. Did you discuss anything else? We also talked briefly about Alice, the servant girl. You said she had worked in a whorehouse. Is that true? Go on, girl, tell him your sins. It's true, Sheriff, but please believe that it was not my fault. I was just a poor young girl taken advantage of by scoundrels. I believe you. I've seen many girls in the same situation. It will not influence my final judgment. I seem to remember that we spoke about the governor's daughter as well and her unsuitable hobbies. You thought her hobbies were too violent. Oh yes, she has a violent nature, that girl. Is that so? Indeed, always wanting to fight and wrestle with the other children. It's very unseemly. Indeed it is. We discussed nothing else of any note. Eliza told me that she spoke with William in a room before dinner. Oh, did she say what it was about? She asked him about what he likes to do for fun, and he mentioned that he enjoys swordplay most of all. Oh, is that so? Go on, Alice. She also said that they spoke about the Reverend Mother and her lessons. She said the Reverend Mother has a bad temper or hits her with a rod. Beat her with a rod sometimes. That's not unusual. It's quite common discipline for a child. Quite right. She said that they spoke about Sir John and how he sometimes brings her toys, books, and sweetcakes. Ah yes, I do spoil the girl sometimes, I just can't help myself. That is very good of you. Continue, Alice. She said that the two of them spoke about Nicholas, our steward. She said he's a bit of a bore. She said that she saw him strike Alice once. Well, I'm not trying to frame this guy, so... Well, how charming. Indeed. Was there anything else, Alice? She didn't mention anything else to me about their conversation. Did you also speak to the governor before dinner, William Bruce? I think so. Yes, I spoke to him in his chamber. And what did you discuss? We spoke about my past. He asked me about my past. I had not mentioned much about it in my letters. I see. And what did you tell him? I told him about a tragedy I had suffered. I believe that one is true. I want to be truthful about this one. I told him about a particular tragedy I had suffered in my past. I would rather not go into it now. Let us move on then. Alright, now someone needs to tell me what happened during dinner. I only remember that Eliza was pestering Brother Simon about his horse. I reprimanded the girl and William saw fit to poke his nose where it didn't belong. Go on. After that, the governor told us that Parliament is about to pass a new law to allow the burning of heretics. Sir John seemed quite in favour of the idea. I was, then William dared to accuse me of being too bloodthirsty. I believe in forgiveness. Oh, that's a good one. I don't think burning is inappropriate. You misunderstood me. I believe in forgiveness. I am a Christian. I believe that we ought to show forgiveness and compassion, just as Jesus did. You dare compare yourself to our Lord Jesus Christ, you arrogant man? It sounds as though you might have taken issue with some of the governor's ideas then, William Bruce. Anyway, the conversation moved on to the topic of witchcraft. The governor asked William if he believed in the power of witches. And what did you say? I asked the Reverend Mother what she thought. The word of God is clear. All witches must be destroyed without mercy. I would see the flesh ripped from their bones. That is a strong viewpoint, Reverend Mother. I am quite surprised to hear it from a woman such as yourself. We then spoke about what punishments would be suitable for witches, since they're just another kind of heretic. You said they should be hung, drawn, and quartered. Yes, I'm trying to make this guy look like a violent man. You felt that burning was too good for them, Sir John. As I recall, you thought they should be hung, drawn, and quartered. That seems a little extreme, Sir John. Perhaps I might have drunk a bit too much wine at that point. In vino veritas. As dinner came to an end, the governor invited all of us to join his privy council and revealed the reasons why he had chosen us. I believe he said that I was strong of mind and that William could keep him informed on events in the church north of the border. What did you have to say about that, William Bruce? I had some reservations. I just wanted to be paid. I don't seem to recall. I believe he did have some reservations. I'll admit that I had some reservations. That's right, you wanted to be sure that the heretics were treated justly. I suppose that is fair enough. Anyway, that was the last time we saw the governor alive. Who discovered the body? Unfortunately, I was the one who discovered him. Me and the Reverend Mother were in the chapel when I heard a noise and went to investigate. I'm sure that my cries soon alerted everyone else in the house. And where were each one of you when you heard these cries? I was relaxing in the guest chamber at the time. Brother Simon's screams gave me quite a shock, I'll tell you. I was down in the great hall when I thought I heard something. And I was in the cellar seeing to the laundry. What about you? I was... Ground floor? I'm not sure whether... I believe I was in the great hall. With you, Nicholas? Yes, William was in the great hall as well. I see, that does put you both some distance away from the tower. I'm glad I guessed that correctly. Let us move on to discussing the manner of the governor's death. The dagger that was used to kill the governor was engraved with your initials, Sir John. Indeed, that's because it belongs to me. However, I left it in my room when I arrived. I only carry the thing for protection on me while I'm traveling. So, anyone could have taken it from your room before dinner. Yes, I didn't even notice it was gone, to tell you the truth. I see. Given the manner of his death, I suppose it is also possible that he took his own life with a dagger, as unlikely as it seems. I will now take counsel with my captain of the guard. Alright. Wow, this is quite a lot more elaborate than the previous game. Damn, did you find anything during your search of these 5 persons? Nothing of note, Sir John. The servants are the 2 members of the clergy, my lord. What about William Bruce? Did you find anything on his person? Nothing, my lord. And during your search of the house, we found this letter while searching the wardrobe of the guest chamber. It may be of interest. This looks to have been written by the governor. I recognize the handwriting. Do not come to my bedchamber tonight. There's too many who might overhear our pleasures. Sweet Jesus. What's that now? Is someone playing some sort of prank, planting that letter in my chamber? You were not involved in an unnatural union with the governor then? One that would drive you to take his life if it were discovered? Oh, I didn't even think of that. Oh, right. I should say not. Are you sure about that, John? I must, however, take this into consideration. We searched the rest of the house and found nothing of interest, my lord. Very well, then. I believe I've heard enough. William Bruce, I am almost certain that you had something to do with the governor's death. I knew it from the beginning. What? How? Despite any suspicions about you, Brother Simon, I don't believe that you had anything to do with it. I will not even entertain the idea that the good Reverend Mother was involved, based on what I've heard tonight. I think I can say you're free of any suspicions, Nicholas. And I'm afraid I will have to speak with you again, Sir John. Now, taking all of this into account, I'm going to have my guards put you in chains, William Bruce. I suggest you do not resist. You're making a mistake, Sheriff. I very much doubt that. We will come back with us to the castle, Sir John. There are some things that need accounting for. This may be the biggest mistake you'll ever make, Thomas. I assure you of that. Oh, okay. I didn't realize I made myself that suspicious. Why would that be? Because of the dinner conversation? Sorry, I should not be popping my fingers. With a weighty amount of evidence standing against you and insufficient evidence to arrest anybody else, it was not long before you were brought to a judge to stand trial. The trial seemed to be only a formality considering the evidence, and the sentence was swiftly passed. Afterwards, you spent your last days in a dank cell. Finally, the day comes when you are drawn to the scaffold to face your execution. Here you will be hung almost to the point of death, and then the worst of it will begin. There are no sympathetic faces among this angry English crowd, the common people of York having turned out their drove to witness this gruesome spectacle. As you wait for your torturous end to begin, your thoughts turn to your mother. Your only source of relief is that she is not alive to witness this herself. Any last words? Filthy Sawney. I have no regrets, let God be my judge. At least I might see my mother again. Have you no mercy? I'm gonna go with that. If this is the price that must be paid for justice, so be it. I can only hope there is more justice in the next world. Then at least I will see my mother again. Oh, I feel so bad for him. I actually wanted to win. I actually wanted this guy to be okay. Alright, so I failed with that, so I'm gonna have to do my best a little bit more to be able to frame somebody else. But we learned some interesting information, which we will be applying in the next episode. I'm gonna have to cook up a smart plan here to make sure that our boy here gets away scot-free. So anyway, thank you so much for watching. I'll leave a bunch of links down in the description if you want to play this game for yourself, which I definitely recommend, by the way. Also, The Deed, the game that came before this, because it's a really short but interesting game. So yeah, thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you on the next video. Bye!